You made a Windows DNS server before, but what you made was a recursive resolver. That's the default DNS server you get. Now, if you want to make it authoritative, then you have to configure your computer name to have a name, and all right, give your computer a name so you know what it is, NS1, because you're going to have a domain name you know about, and then give yourself yourname.local. Now here, I should explain this. This is probably a questionable practice, but in the early days of DNS, there were only 7 top-level domains, .com, .mil, .net, and so on. And so people made up anything for their local domain, and it wouldn't send that traffic to the internet because it was used. And unfortunately, a lot of these then became real, valid top-level domains. So I wonder if local is really the best one here. Now I wonder what is the current recommended top-level domain for local traffic. I think I've seen some news articles about this. And the process seen here may be out of date. .com, no, for local network, yeah. I've seen some popular options, .box or .local, yeah. And this is 10 months ago. It is an issue because some of the things people used then became real domains, and so the traffic from the local network ended up being sent to the internet. And I think there is an official one. This guy says, own a domain and use a subdomain for the internal network. That's a way. There's ones assigned for this purpose. Home.arpa or home. That's what I thought. Home, LAN, or private are probably the modern recommended top-level domains to use for local traffic. Microsoft has used a lot of different ones in the past, and some people have gotten in trouble. So I wonder if .local is guaranteed to always be local. It might be best to stick with whatever the RFCs officially recommend. Anyway, so that's what we're using in this project. You give yourself a local domain, yourname.local, and restart your server. All right, and now we're going to make it a non-recursive authoritative server. So you won't be able to use this for outgoing traffic because it's no longer going to be a recursive resolver. In a previous project, you set 127.0.0.1 as your DNS resolver, and it worked because your server was recursive resolver, and it would go ask the root domain servers and other servers to find things. But we're going to turn that off. So you have to go change your Ethernet settings to go to a real public server like 8888 for normal outgoing traffic. You will not be able to use your own DNS server to do that anymore. And now you can disable recursion. You'll find it here in DNS Manager. You go into the properties of your DNS Manager, and on the Advanced tab, you can just disable recursion, which is what you should do on a authoritative server. You could, in principle, leave it recursive and continue using it, and then your server would be an open resolver. But that's a risky thing to do, and you need more defenses to do it. Then you might as well disable root hints. This is another thing to do, so it won't go ask the root servers where things are, because the only purpose of it is to resolve names inside your domain. So you don't want it going off to the internet asking other DNS servers for information ever. So you can disable these things. All right, and then you can make it an authoritative server. You make a forward lookup zone, and you're going to have to give it some data now. You need to tell it the names and IP addresses on the machines in your domain. Remember, they're all going to be in your name.local domain, and you change the name of this thing to NS1, and it is the only computer in your domain, so that's all you have to do is add that. Your name.local.dns, and that will do it. Now, if you do this lookup of the DNS of your local domain, and you do it with the local DNS resolver, then you will get an answer here, and it does not say non-authoritative answer. This is what Windows says. When you have an authoritative resolution, it gives you the answer, and it does not tell you that it's non-authoritative. That's how it works. And remember, if you try to look up something else like Yahoo, it will say, I don't know what you're talking about, because it only knows your name.local. It's not a recursive resolver. It can't go outside and find other domain names. So that's what I wanted to say about that one. Let me stop this recording.